Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, today is Snow Day. Welcome to tonight's show. Today is February 9th. We're in February, guys. Anyway, welcome to tonight's show. We got a good topic for you guys tonight. Clint, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Clint. You know what it is. So we're gonna have an interesting conversation tonight about relationships and religion.
Yes, it's definitely going to be an interesting topic. If you are listening now, you are listening via blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. If you guys want to call in and on the topic, you guys can call in. The phone lines open up at 10:15. Phone number is 657-383-1155. You can also tweet us at GFT_radio. We'll be tweeting throughout the show. And if you have any questions or comments about the show while you're listening, tweet us, and we will read the comment out on the show tonight. So, J-Ro, you want to say hi, too?
What up, everybody? It's J-Ro.
All right, so definitely about to kick this show off. We're going to start it off because, February is Black History Month. So we like to, this whole month, we're going to be, every time we do a show, before we start the topic, we're going to highlight some people that we think we should talk about, we should bring up during Black History Month. And I am going to go first this time. So the person I would like to highlight for Black History Month is Bayard Rustin. He is he was a part of the civil rights movement. He was one of the first freedom riders that rode on the buses to the secondary to interstate buses. He also was a nonviolent person. He worked with Dr. Martin Luther King, but he also fought for gay rights because he was a gay man. So I definitely need to highlight him. He was born in Pennsylvania, not too far from us, and he just did a lot of stuff for Black people. He did a lot of stuff for social rights, and he fought for the rights of gay people as well. So that's why I wanted to highlight him, because not only did he do it for Black people, but he did it for to be like basically what's happening now with like everybody, gender equality and a lot of the gay rights. He fought for that at the beginning. So to tell and kind of honor somebody that not only fought for their own struggle, but fought for a bigger cause. So definitely got to shout him out. You got your people?
Yes, I do. First, I want to talk about Mrs. Annie Malone. She was a businesswoman, an African-American educator and inventor. She was born August 9th, 1869. She was she started her own hair care business 4 years before Madam C.J. Walker. Actually, Madam C.J. Walker worked for her as a parole agent for about a year. So now, and she was one of the first millionaires, Black African American women millionaires. She also, let me see what else she did real quick. I'm sorry, y'all, because I got her and my other one mixed up for a second. But her business was based in St. Louis. Like I said, her business hairline was called Poro Brand Beauty Products. It actually dissolved because reason why she ain't well known is because when she got divorced, her husband at the time took like half the business because he felt like he created it and then basically ran it into the ground. So she's really not remembered much in the history because her rise wasn't as long as Madam C.J. Walker. Okay, so that's her. The next person I want to talk about is Miss Barbara Jordan. She was the first. She was the. Excuse me, people. She was the first African American senator in Texas. First woman.
Okay.
Black woman to be a senator in Texas. She was born January 3rd. Oh, excuse me. She was in office from January 10th, 1967 to January 3rd, 1973. She was a lawyer. She was a real leader in the civil rights movement. She was a Democrat, and she was really known for the speeches she gave at the Democratic National Convention. She was best known for her eloquent opening statement at the House Judiciary Committee hearings during the impeachment process against Richard Nixon, and as the first African-American woman to deliver the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, among numerous other honors. She was a member of the Peabody Awards Board of Jurors from 1978 to 1980. She was the first African-American woman to be buried in the Texas State Cemetery as well. So I just wanted to point her out. Black excellence. Black excellence.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say something to you, but I completely forgot what it was. It's like it goes out my brain. But you definitely like to highlight those people that affected a lot. And I didn't know.
You said you had knew one of them before?
Yes, Annie Malone. I did a while back. I did a Faces of Our History on Annie Malone, and she was one of the people that I did want to know because she was, and I did. That's why when you brought her up, I was like, okay, I know who that is because she was the one before Madam C.J. Walker. You're right. Madam C.J. Walker did learn a lot from her, and I think she probably, she was forgotten because she didn't last as long or has,
exactly.
As long as Madam C.J. Walker, but it doesn't mean she wasn't before her. That was about the same time I found out about Claudette Colvin. Am I saying her name right? That's the one that came before Rosa.
Yeah.
The 16-year-old girl that was pregnant, and they didn't want to use her because she was young,
Exactly.
But that's why I kind of highlighted Bayard Rustin, too, because he was well known. He was really a point person in the civil rights movement as a whole, but he kind of shunned out because he was gay. So it was, not only was it he dealing with racism, people not liking black people, but he also had to deal with in the midst of the civil rights thing. It was because he was gay, so he had issues with that too.
Yeah, it's also I would like people to go on YouTube. It's and look up. It's like a debate / interview with him and Malcolm X.
Who Bayard?
Yeah, Bayard Rustin and Malcolm X, and it's real good.
I might check it out.
Yeah, go on YouTube, check that out. It's deep. It's a real good conversation. You know what I mean? So I definitely suggest everybody go on YouTube.
Yeah, because he was like the legal guy during the civil rights. He was one like the lawyers. Like he did a lot of the legal work. He was did a lot with the the lawsuits that they were facing and all that stuff. He dealt a lot with that. So you got to highlight people like that. That people that are unknown. Not too many people know about him, although he was he had his hands in a lot of the stuff. But J-Ro, you have anybody you want to highlight?
Not somebody, but something. Got to give want to highlight the NAACP coming up on the anniversary for them in a couple of days on the 12th. The NAACP was founded in February 12, 1909, and the NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So that's a big thing. If you don't know about that, hopefully you do know about that. Hopefully they're teaching these kids that in school. But the organization is, like I say, was founded back in 1909 on February 12th. So do some research, read up about that, and definitely look into that. Like I said, it's somebody, but it's definitely something that I wanted to highlight.
I wonder if they have any. I know they're having some type of special event.
They probably are. I mean, anniversary is not like one of the milestone anniversaries, but it's definitely an anniversary for it coming up. So yeah, they should have something. You'll probably see a couple of shows on TV, things like that. A couple of History Channel events, but yeah, they should have something.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely, I didn't even know that. Thank you. That's why I like, that's one thing, not that, like we said on the last show, not that we learned about Black History just on Black History Month, but when you get to hear about these people and, some things you don't know, you hear about some of the stuff, but you don't know all of it, and you get to kind of hear a little different fun fact that you didn't know. It's like, wow, it makes you want to go look stuff up. and find out for yourself. Like, find out more for yourself, and that's one of the things we encourage, to find out that people find out about their history and find out about these people outside of, like I said, we don't want to celebrate Martin Luther King, like even Malcolm X is not as, to me, I felt like he's not as celebrated during Black History Month than Martin Luther King or, Frederick Douglass, something like that. I think that people just look at Malcolm as if he's just a militant bad guy. I don't, or Black Panthers and stuff like that. Like, they weren't all bad, but, you get that bad stigma on you, you kind of get discarded to an extent,
Facts. You know how I feel about the Black Panthers.
Yeah, I know. And I love me some Malcolm X. But back in that day, I would have gave him my number. We would have, I might not been tall enough for him, but I was like, hey.
So you look at her. She already tried to jump on his bones.
I'm just saying. It could have been Malcolm. Could have been in love. No, but that's definitely something, like I said, look forward to next week. We're going to be doing other people too as well. So catch that. Also look on our blog. We try to post weekly Faces of Our History, or we post daily quotes on Black history or different Black scholars that made very powerful quotes. So definitely check that out on the website, gstradioshow.com. But we're going to get right in our topic. Now, the topic of, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, no, I said yes.
Oh, so the topic of tonight is religion a dating deal breaker? We know that people in the United States, it's different religions all over the place. Everybody believes in something. You have atheists, you have Muslims, you have Christians, you have Jews. You have so many different people of different faiths, all walks of life. And if you meet someone, is it a deal breaker if their religion is completely opposite of yours? Guys, would you?
Want me to go first?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I have personal experience with this.
Mm-hmm.
I had just got out of a relationship where we had different faiths. We was faith-based differently.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? She was a diehard Christian. I wasn't. If anything, I would follow Islam. But that's how the relationship actually started. We would always debate back and forth. But it was always cordial.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but then we end up in a relationship. Now, we knew going into the relationship we was going to have issues because of that. And it definitely arose, like I really wasn't beat for going to church and all that, but she wanted that. So I tried to make concessions.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't, it put me in a space where I was trying to be something I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I would ever do that. I wouldn't even advise nobody to do that. That's my opinion on it.
To date somebody that's completely opposite of what their belief is, or somebody. Yeah. I mean, because it's one thing to date somebody that has this religion in you, if they're not force feeding it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it just that from my experience, it's still a divided household, so to speak, because morally, y'all have different opinions. So certain things that y'all try to do around the house, or like certain family things, she may want to do or he may want to do, and it just don't coincide. Like just say for holidays, for instance. When Christmas come around, one don't celebrate Christmas, the other do. That's like a house divided.
Mm-hmm.
So should the one who don't celebrate Christmas, should that person go against their beliefs and do it just to make everybody happy? Well, then that person gonna expect the same type of concessions. So now you're compromising your beliefs just to make somebody else happy. And I don't think a relationship.
J-Bo, your thoughts? Is he on there? Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think we might have lost J-Bo.
Yeah, I think we did. I don't know what just happened. But,
okay.
Well, I mean, I've dated people that were, I've dated a Muslim guy, and we used to have what I like to call the religion battle. It wasn't really a battle. It was like a debate. It was more of a debate. And we used to sit down, like, just random times and just talk about religion. Not that we somehow we got on that subject for whatever reason. And we used to talk about things, and like from what I learned from him about the Muslim faith, it was like they couldn't believe that Jesus was God's son. They could believe that he was a prophet, but not like he's not coming from God.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And we talked about marriage because at that point we were engaged. We talked about that too. And Muslim men can marry a Christian woman without her having to convert to be a Muslim. That's what my understanding was. And we just had different things. And one thing I will say about me, like I was raised in a Christian church, a Pentecostal Christian church, since I was a kid, and I was like a hardcore Bible thumper for a good while. And I still have my faith now. I'm not at church every Sunday, but I still believe in Jesus. I still believe in God, and all the stuff that goes with it. Some of the things I do have issues with certain of the beliefs that I was raised upon. I have issues with, but I'm not one person that shoves my religion down your throat. But in the household where I was in the house, like I said, I lived with a Muslim, and he didn't celebrate Christmas, but he did it for his kids. So
yeah.
it wasn't like he didn't like, oh my God, we can't do this because I don't do it. The way his thought process was is I'll do it for the kids, and then they feel like they don't want to do it anymore. Like he explained to them why he doesn't do it. And, it was what it was, and he just did it for them. But they knew the presents didn't come from a Santa Claus. Like, they don't believe, that story, but,
So
it
basically,
was okay.
he compromised what he believed in to suit his children for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, that's a decision he made, but somebody that was devout in it,
Mm-hmm.
you feel me? They wouldn't make that decision. They wouldn't support that. They'll let them know. Now, say the mother, she totally opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to celebrate it the way, she all into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, that causes an issue. Like, that causes an issue within the house or within the relationship. You know what I mean? Because now it's like a tug of war.
Mm.
Because now it's like, and then you're feeding your child two different ideologies.
Mm.
So now it's like, okay, you want your child to make their own decisions when they get older and come to their own, but if you follow your religion, you're supposed to raise your child one way. The household's supposed to be one. It's supposed to be, together. So if we're not serving the same way, there's no way we can be together completely.
I can't. I don't know. Like I think in certain situations, I might if you are a Satan worshiper and I'm down with Jesus, we ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people that worship Satan as their God. Now that's a deal breaker for me. Like I said, my sisters, my sister. It's funny because one of my sisters dated Muslims. Well, we all did. So I can't say not one of them. I don't know what it is about us and Muslims, but we just date them for whatever reason. But I've never had an issue. Like one of my sisters dated a Muslim guy, and he wanted her to convert and wear the whole garb. Well, actually, two of them. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's a bit much for me. Like, we ain't getting married. Like, that's not going to work. Not even when we got married, I don't think I could do that because I've known Christianity for as long as my mom was raised as a Catholic and my grandmother's Baptist. I don't know what happened with all of us, but we got raised Christian. So, but, and that's like in the way the Baptists and the Christians are, it's different. And so are the Baptists. They're different. So not as it's not a big difference between Baptist and Christian.
See, I'm under the understanding that's the same thing. A Baptist is a Christian.
It is, but I'm a Pentecostal Christian. So the difference between the Pentecostal Christian from what I grew up on, and the difference between my aunt and who grew up Baptist, like they believe you're saved if you believe God is like if you believe God, if God is your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, okay, you're saved. I was raised different. Like you're saved in a different manner than how they are. So I noticed that when I went to back, I'm like, what? Oh, so everybody here saved, but y'all not. Like, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's saved because that's not how I grew up. Like, you just can't walk into the church and say you saved next day and go outside. Like, so not saying that all Baptists are like that because I don't want nobody hearing this. That's a Baptist for saying that. Yeah. But I went to my aunt's church and they're Baptist, and it was like, okay, this is way different than what church I went to. I was a Pentecostal church, and this a little bit, and this what I was raised on is different. Now, Catholics are completely different than both. So we all co-mingle, but it was just like when you go to different churches, you're like, okay, this is different. I don't know about this. And then my little sister, her dad, family, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. My thing is like, say if somebody's, it to me it depends on how deep rooted a person's faith is, and how seriously they are at following. You know, because I hear people, people could scream, I could say I'm Muslim, but am I actually practicing a faith?
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that when you, a religion and faith and stuff is like, as I said, I talked to somebody who went to church for all my childhood. I went to vacation Bible school. Like, did it all. Like, I was in Jesus. Like, I was at vacation Bible school all summer.
Yeah, like, you do the same with me too.
Yeah, and it's like I believe there is a God. I believe in Jesus. I believe I've read the Bible. I believe in Christ. Like this, I believe in what I believe in. Is anybody gonna tell me that's wrong? No. Unless I feel like it's wrong, that's when I'm like it's wrong. I had questions about certain things that I probably shouldn't question, or people probably will say to me as a Pentecostal Christian, you shouldn't question that. You should know, because this is what the Bible says, but I still have questions because I'm human. But am I hardcore? Like, you like, I had somebody tell me that because I didn't get baptized, I was going to burn in hell. I said, well, damn. That was different. Like, all my kids going to burn in hell. We all, if I didn't get my kids Christian, we were all going to burn in hell. And I'm like, that's easy. But, like, because I've never gotten my kids Christian, I think that's something that they should want to do themselves. It's not something that I should do for them. They want to accept God. That's how they choose to do it. That's up to them. That was my choice, But am I like, do I have a unshakable faith? No, I believe in God, and because of what I went through in my life. But I don't think anybody can tell me any different or that I'm not.
I'm saying I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
I'm talking about people. It depends. I'm just speaking in general.
Okay.
It depends on somebody how deep rooted they are in their faith. Because if a person, some people, their faith is their life. Everything is based off their faith.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't share that, or they fall in love with somebody who doesn't share that faith, that relationship is going to have an issue because you can never share that part of your life with them.
Mm-hmm.
If that part of your life means so much to you, but I don't share those same views, then you can't share that with me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So now it could go either way, vice versa. You know what I mean? But if that's somebody's major part of their life and they can't share it with their partner, I don't see how they can coexist for a long period of time in a relationship, like a marriage or something like that. Like I don't see it.
So what if they're like, so what if they date and they don't, and I know some people date with the intent to marry, but what if you're dating somebody and then when you decide, hey, I want to get married to you, but because of your religion I can't marry you, think that's fair?
Say that again now. Explain that question.
These people, say these two people have been dating for years. You know, they have different religions, right?
Yeah.
And they all great. They never really think about it, that third. Then when it comes to, hey, talking about marriage, I was married, but we had to do two different religions, so we can't ever get married.
See, I don't see it that way. You feel me? If you with somebody, obviously, if you with somebody for a long period of time, y'all already worked that out.
Mm.
You know,
sometimes people make those type of discussions, when it comes to getting married, I want to get married in church, or I don't go to church. I don't want to get married in church. Well, my family would like us to get married in church. Well, I don't want to get married in church because I don't even go to church.
Yeah, see, that to me that's petty because the actual, the marriage isn't really the wedding. You feel me? That's just to celebrate. That's what you feel me. So I never really think people took, that's the wedding. That ain't nothing. It has to do with the marriage. You feel me? If y'all beefing over the wedding, where y'all getting married, and y'all really ain't ready to be married. See what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's crazy.
But that's something that's real though.
I know that, and that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, I'm just giving my opinion. If two people if you can't even come to agreement of where you should be married at, then you shouldn't even be married. You feel me? Because there's a problem right there. You know what I mean? That's before y'all even get to the meat and potatoes, because the wet is just one day. You feel me? That ain't. You feel me?
But what if he never set foot into the church? What if he really don't what if they really don't believe in anything, or they atheists and they I don't want to get married because I'd rather get married at some place. But some people families
I can't see if like you said, you believe in God, you believe in Jesus. You will be in a relationship with the atheist?
Well, no, not me.
Yeah, I don't see them two being in a relationship together. You feel me? That'd be weird. But I have seen different people from different religions or different belief systems believe, or that they have beliefs in and not want to be together. And be together, but you feel me? Not end up lasting.
Most of the not they going to have to be believing in holidays and shit like that. We need to have a Christmas. I want to do Valentine's, all that stuff. I want to do. I'm dating people that don't celebrate holidays and don't do this because they don't I want somebody just like me. We ain't got to be in church every Sunday, but I need you to want to go to church. I want to go to church. I need you to want to celebrate Christmas. I know it ain't Jesus' birthday. I know Easter ain't got nothing to do with no damn bunny. I understand that, but I still want to celebrate. So our next person I be in love with, we got to celebrate.
Yeah, that's why everybody, and that's how it should be. That's why I think everybody, when you get in a relationship, everybody should be on one accord. So you won't have that issue.
Yeah.
If you're on one accord, you won't have that issue in a relationship.
Yeah,
that's why I don't do it. You feel me? If y'all got different belief systems, don't do it.
I want to know. I want to know what other people think. I talk to my only people I know that I know one of my friends dated this guy that was I don't know what type of belief he was in, but they had these people were prophets at church he went to, and there was all these prophets there, and they believe that they could tell you how your life is going to be and all this stuff. It reminded me of the you watch the TV shows and the people that be having those evangelistic thingies out in the woods.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that. And she used to tell me, I'm like, what? Oh no, see, I wouldn't feel safe. That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
They just fall out. No, I don't want to be there. That's scary to me. I remember the first time I went to church with my mother, and we were young, and the people were just acting all over the place, and I was just like, oh my God, I was crying. I said, I don't want to be here. I don't feel safe. I don't know what they're doing. This is crazy. I was so scared. I've never been scared in my entire life until like that. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was crying. I didn't know what was happening. So I don't know what church that was, but I never wanted to go back. I'm like, let's go back. I'm like,
What about spirituality? You know, because there's a lot of people out there that's into spirituality. They ain't necessarily into religion and all that.
When they believe in like a higher power?
Yeah, they believe in a higher power, but also like a higher self. You know what I mean? Evolving, self-fulfillment. You feel me? Like having a higher calling or something like that.
Well, I mean, that's what like nuns and priests believe they got a higher calling. That's why they do what they do.
Yeah, but that's religion. I ain't talking about religion. You feel me? That higher calling and stuff, that's for nuns and priests. That's like a higher calling from God. When people talk about spirituality, they ain't really talking about God.
What they talk about? Because I'm lost.
It's like it's yourself. You know what I mean? Being a higher form of yourself, or you know what I mean? Like nature, like one with nature, spirituality, being one with your spirit. That's not all. That's when people talk about spirituality, they
like you mean like people say they get connected with the earth.
Yeah, sort of, yeah, or just consciousness. Also, you know what I mean? Being aware of where you're from, your history, how you connect to the universe.
Oh yeah, see, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But a lot of people are like that. You know what I mean? Especially the black conscious. I mean, there's a whole lot of them out here.
Yeah, I don't know. I know my brother's going through a phase, but I don't know if that's it. I don't know what. That might be. That might
be the phase.
I have to ask him now.
You said a phase?
Well, I shut up because I'm an asshole. But like my brother went through different phases in life that he did different things. He was into different things, and now this is he likes to be. I guess it might be spirituality. It might be. It sounds more like it. It sounds very close to how he. From talking to him, how he is. So I think that's where he's at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can look.
I'm not gonna go into depth because that's not my.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's like, if you look it up, it says like a broad concept with room for many perspectives. It includes a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves, and it typically involves a search for meaning in life. And it is a universal human experience, something that touches us all. You feel me? They ain't necessarily, like I said, related to black people. A lot of black people, they, we've been taught Christianity from a white perspective. So so a lot of black people reject it and they start doing their history. That's what they call it, self-consciousness. It's just awakening and learning where we really come from. You know what I mean? Past just more than slavery. I mean, connected to your ancestors, stuff like that. So my question is, you being a Christian, could you date somebody like that?
If I came across someone I liked them, we talked about it and I understood it. Probably, I don't know, because I would have to have some understanding of what exactly it is and how they see it. Because I'm not one of the people if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask you the same thing so I can kind of understand where you're coming from. The same way I did when I dated the Muslim guy. I had never dated a Muslim guy before, and I had to get understanding of what his belief was. Because people can grow up in a religion but not practice it.
Exactly.
So you gotta, like me, if I don't understand it, I was like the same way with me. If you don't understand my religion, I'm gonna explain it to you. So, and I want you to understand it, at least try attempt to. And that's the same way I would do to you if I hey, this is what I believe. Okay, explain it to me, and I'll try to understand it. If I don't agree with it, I'll tell you I don't agree with it. If it's gonna be a problem, then we can not continue dating. But I will want to understand it. I wouldn't just say, oh, you're what? Okay, yeah. Now if you tell me you worship Satan, we're not gonna be dating. That's different. because I know what that is. That's something that I'm not a part of, and I don't want to be a part of. So,
I could take that.
Yeah.
For me, it comes down. This conversation comes down to practice. You feel me? Like that's what it comes down to. Because one, if you're not practicing it, it's one thing. Like I said, it's one thing to believe it, and it's one thing to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So if somebody just say we're in a relationship and you telling me what you believe, but you don't necessarily practice it on a daily basis, then quite honestly, that relationship probably could work because you're not practicing it. You're not living that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's like telling you you're a Muslim, but I think you eat pork. Like,
exactly.
Dude, like you over here eating pork chops. I just made pork chops. So we can't have no conversations about being a Muslim because you over here eating pork.
Exactly. So you know what I mean. So that's why I said it all depends on whether it's being practiced. So if
you said what?
It's all about practice. So if somebody's practicing it, then guess what? You feel me? I don't think that relationship could work because now they're going to live that lifestyle. So now you got to change your whole lifestyle in order for it to work, or they got to change their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So say you change your lifestyle for me, right? But you really not with it. You just doing it for me. At some point, resentment is going to set in.
Exactly.
You feel me? It's inevitable. It's going to set in, and there's going to be resentment on both sides eventually, and then the relationship going to dissolve.
Hold on 1 second. We got a caller, guys. Caller, what's your name and where you from?
It's Willie Styles. What's up, you guys? What's going on?
Hey, Willie. How are you?
What's going on,
I'm
brother?
I'm good. Oh, not much. Just calling in, check out the show. Sorry I'm running late. Just saw that topic, and it was that's a hot topic right there. I was talking about it, so I wanted to listen in and see what you guys are thinking about it.
Yeah, well, Clint's synopsis is that if you're dating someone that is practicing a religion that they're in and you don't believe in it, you shouldn't date them. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, me personally, I like to stay open to things, If you feel like your religious beliefs don't conflict completely, that you shouldn't totally shoot down the prospect. But I do believe that you have to have some serious conversations around it because just like politics, religion is a very touchy subject, and people who don't have at least complementary or non-conflicting beliefs, it can cause a lot of strife in the relationship. It's hard enough when your family doesn't share your beliefs, but when you have someone that you're supposed to be in a committed relationship with, it makes it even, tougher because, you might be going to celebrate holidays or not, or ways you're going to raise your children, ways you're going to, handle the household, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into that, especially when you have things that totally conflict. Christians and Muslims, they've gotten married and have made it, but it's a very, touchy thing because depending on who's running the household, it makes things a little bit more challenging for the other person and their religious beliefs. So you definitely have to have some serious conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, bro?
I agree with what Willie just said because growing up in my house, I had a Muslim father and a Christian mom, and religion is not really a deal breaker, but like you say, somebody has to rule that there's got to be compromise there. Growing up when I was younger, with my dad being a Muslim and my mom a Christian, I was probably about 12 or 13 years old before we actually first started celebrating Christmas. We didn't do the Christmas tree. We didn't do Christmas lights. They didn't even believe in Christmas. So it was kind of crazy. Holidays come around. My dad doesn't eat pork. So we never had like the ham and all that stuff. So it kind of there's conflicts there, but like I say, you have to have some type of compromise when it comes to two different religions in a relationship. And whether it's just a relationship dating or a relationship as in marriage or something like that, you definitely have to work things out and make sure that you two are working together toward your differences. I mean, growing up, I remember my dad going to the mosque every Friday, and Sundays my mom was going to church. There'd be some Sundays where my dad would go to church with her. I mean, it's not against his religion, but, you know, he was there to compromise, and he would go to church with her every once in a while. He still does go to church with her, even though he still does the mosque, and he does his daily Muslim things, and he's already made his trip to Mecca and everything. So there's definitely a compromise when it comes to two different religions dealing with a relationship.
Facts.
Yeah. I think the big thing with the compromise too is being reasonable, right? You know, because you can have a compromise, but the person might still be a little salty about it, right? And if they're not reasonable about it, then the other person might have to suffer attitudes or petty things being said or done. I know, like when my mom and dad, they didn't really have the same kind of religion. They both were like Christian, but they were completely different, opposite sides, right? And my dad was the type that he was the head of the household, so it was almost like his way or no way. But he was fairly reasonable. He'd be like, he understood that there was a difference and that she wanted to do her thing, but it was just like you would hear the comments being made sometimes when certain things are done, the little snide remarks, and it was just like, that's the condescending things that happen there and causes argument, so if you're not reasonable about it, then you're going to, have conflict regardless of it, even if you do, make a compromise.
Yeah, I could dig that. I just, I said like what you said, Willie, because Clint asked me a little while ago before you got on the line about would I date somebody that was into spirituality versus a religion. And I said, well, like, I'm one of the people that if I don't know about your religion, I would want to know more about it. Like, I wouldn't just write you off. I would like to know more about it, and just have it explained to me so I can have a better understanding of what it is. And if it's conflicting with mine, then I might say, but like I said, I'm not one of the people that goes to church every Sunday. I'm not one of the people, like, I do believe in God. I do pray and stuff like that, but I'm not at church every Sunday. So, we would definitely have to have conversations and just see where it goes. But I wouldn't just write them off, not unless they were like, completely opposite of my religion,
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, my previous relationship, I tried it. I kept an open mind. She had an open mind. We went into it, but it's a give and take for me. Like if I'm making concessions on one end, somewhere there has to be concessions on my end. I can't just keep giving and giving, because then now I've totally compromised who I am. Now I'm not happy. Now I'm being somebody. I'm being somebody I'm not to keep you happy, to keep her, and but that same thing is not being returned towards me. It doesn't matter that you're telling me you love me or this, that, and the third. It's not, it's not being showed. And then the dynamics of the relationship is uneven.
Look at that.
Right, that's true. I mean, that can be anything, regardless of if it's religion or if it's just other kind of beliefs. So you got to be careful of that
Politics.
with anybody in anything. Yeah.
That's true. If you
lose,
and that's why I said
it's somebody else, then that relationship gonna fail.
That's why I also said practice. How they practice it is important too.
Yeah.
Like J. Rose said, his dad was a practitioner, You know, he practiced his religion.
Mm-hmm.
His mom practiced her religion, but they was able to compromise. You know, that's why I said two people. It depends on the people too. You know what I mean? You got to have a strong will and strong mind to be able to make that compromise with somebody that you love, and then also just make that relationship continue to work, because it's continuous work. It's not just going to be something that, all right, y'all had that discussion one time 5 years ago and it's all good.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up, and you got to be able to get through it, talk through it, or whatever.
Yeah, my dad, they talked through. Like I said, he would go to church with her. He was like you said, he's a practitioner. I know he grew up as a Muslim. My mom grew up as a Christian. But they talked about it. You know, he would go to church with her. He would sit up in the church. I mean, he not saying he's sitting up here singing the songs and doing all of that, getting into it. But you know, there was times where he would go there. There was a time when my mom was a Muslim. Like she would go to the mosque with him sometimes. So I mean, they worked through it. They got through it.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to point. I said, don't Muslims can marry a Christian woman, though, right?
Yeah, I know. I actually would go to church with her on occasion, but you know,
Lord, let me see.
Now I mean, it was just sometimes when the pastor was doing his thing, some things he would say, some points he would make, I would agree with, but then I'm sitting in there and I'm like, you know, I'm not feeling this. I'm not judging nobody. This is their religion. Right. You know what I mean? This is what keeps them grounded. This is for them, but this ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm uncomfortable. Like this, I don't want to be here.
Mm.
Right.
You know.
Right. I mean,
like I don't want to be here.
About that? But you know what's crazy about that is that some people do that in their own religion. They sit there, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do it sometimes myself, where you sit there and there's certain things that the leadership in the congregation might say, and you feel like it's not quite jiving with your personal belief, right? And you're like, you know, we good on 80% of this or 90% of this. You know, some people even 95, but then it might be that little extra something that bugs you. You like, you're not feeling it, and you know, you people walk away from either their church or even their religion because of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it,
quick
challenging
example.
to be in religion.
Quick example. This is how I said we both tried to make it work. So we said we was gonna go to counseling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go to her pastor for counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could imagine, I mean, like, all right, I'm already, all right, it's your pastor or whatever. You know what I mean? So everything's going to be skewed to your point of view immediately. That's how I'm going in. Mm-hmm. So we talking, and now mind you, we got a daughter. So he said something to the effect, and this was what he believed in his religion. You feel me? He said something to the effect to where you talk about my daughter, like, this is the last days, this is the end of the world. Like, I really don't see her growing, you know what I mean, getting older. This is the pastor, you feel me? So right then and there, I'm like, what? I'm sitting here, I'm like, what? You know, I'm trying to be respectful, you know what I mean? Because really, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You say my daughter not going to be alive? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, how you just, these are the last days of time. Like, why would you even say that to me? Yeah.
Because in growing up in church, and it is funny, in growing up in church, like, we hear that because they say.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. My mom was a Jehovah's Witness, so that's what they believe.
Yeah, but I don't. Maybe he shouldn't have. Maybe he should have called me his first. I don't know, but that's what they say though. They tell you, like, I remember we went to church and this was pastor telling us that we was going to hell. So I'm like, what? We going to hell? I don't want to go to hell. How are we not going to hell? You gotta get saved. I gotta get saved. What am I gonna do? Like, you know, it's a scare tactic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that don't sit. Yeah. And that didn't sit well with me. So like, how can me and her continue to be in a relationship when the person she follows, this is your pastor, this is your religion, he's the one, this is your teacher. He believes that.
Mm-hmm.
And you sitting here, you following that, and now we're in here in counseling. We got to get counseling from this same man about our relationship. Like, nah. Like, nah. That's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to work.
I mean, technically, we
can cut this short right now.
Y'all definitely shouldn't have went to a religious. I mean, either way, either Christian or Muslim or any other religion. I mean, that's just a no-no, because if you don't share the same beliefs, then, like you said,
it's not going to sound right regardless.
Animosity. Exactly. They're going to go in first with animosity about the whole situation, and then it's not going to sound right, because there's going to be those little pieces and bits that they're going to throw in, that leans to their religion, and it's not going to match up with what you're doing. You know, they're going to want to pray, and you like, I'm not about to pray to Jesus, and I know I believe in the prophet, and I believe in Allah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just a no right there. I mean, I personally like I study with the Jehovah's Witness myself, so. You know, when I go and visit with somebody, or somebody might start praying, and they praying to Jesus, and I'm like, dog, that's not, we don't pray to Jesus. We follow Jesus as an example. That's it. We don't sit there and pray to Jesus. Jesus is not God to us. So it's like, it's a conflict. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, okay, you good. I still got to go pray for myself, because I'm not about to, or somebody. Like I got a friend that's Catholic, and they holding rosaries and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't get into that.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny, Willie? I had a conversation with a Catholic person, because I don't understand, and this is what I said to people when we talk about religion. I don't understand how we all can read the Bible. I guess it makes sense. We can read the same book, and everybody come up with 3 different ways. But Catholics still believe in what Christians, or most people that follow the Bible, call the Old Testament ways. Catholics still live in the Old Testament. They still got to talk to a priest to pray, because they don't, they can't. They think they can't pray for themselves. If they pray, they got to pray to these other people, whatever, to get go through all that. And I'm like, you can just go. You can pray by yourself. You don't need a third party. Like, you can go.
But that's your belief. Yeah, that's your belief.
Right.
In the Bible,
but that's your belief, right?
In the Bible, but it's crazy, because in the Bible it says, one, Jesus died on the cross, but the veil was broken, and you can go to God yourself. So that's one part. Catholic, I used to tell my friend, like, how come you still go to a priest? That's what we have to do. No, you don't have to. That was back in the Old Testament. We didn't know. But,
Right.
But,
it's funny because they also believe in Jesus, right? Like, I can understand a Jewish person. I can understand a Jewish person bucking that and saying, "Hey, no, we don't pray directly to God through Jesus. Because we don't believe in Jesus." Like, okay, that's cool. But for somebody to believe in Jesus and they still go to a priest, it sounds crazy to me. I mean, not judging nobody and they believe, but that's it's just job with what I've learned and what I've gone through, And like you said, it's in the Bible, but everybody interprets it their own way. And I've gone through, I think it's been at least 6 different versions of Christianity. 6. And even within those 6, there's offshoots. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I went to an apostolic church. I went to 2 apostolic churches, and one, they believe one thing, and I went to another one, and they had a whole separate, not completely different, but there were some bits and pieces where it was completely different. I mean, if 2 people went to those 2 different churches and tried to get together, they were conflict. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was saying to Clint, like, how Baptists are a little bit different than Pentecostal Christians. So, it's like they had their own truth.
Yeah.
It's like y'all reading from the same book.
My ex was Pentecostal. We was going to a Pentecostal church. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, but it's funny because, like I said, when you go, like I said, when you grow up and you go through that, and then you go to this church, you're like, what? Oh, this is different. I never did this. What y'all doing? Okay, that's different. But you learn different things. But we about to wrap this show because y'all don't want to wrap this show. Yeah. But But yeah, no. See, this is gonna be. We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this because it's so much.
Yeah, I definitely want to continue this. Definitely.
Yeah, it's so much that could be talked about on that.
Yeah, because once you start talking religion, you go. Religion's a hot topic, man.
Yeah,
right,
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Religion,
politics,
to
kind of
those
on the
two
same,
topics.
The same kind of idea. Well, to kind of stay on the same idea, what do you guys think about people who, where it's make or break with politics? Because I just recently heard about a woman that was married to her husband like 40 years who separated from him because he voted for Trump and she voted for somebody else.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that too.
So it was make or break for her. I mean, everybody made the assumption that it was something else, that, a bunch of other things that probably got her to that point. But that was her straw, right, that broke the back, was that they conflicted on their political views. And there's a lot of people who politics is their religion. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about that as a make or break? Would that make or break your relationship if somebody had completely different political views?
That's a good one too. I mean, that would probably be one of those, like, the religion I could deal with, but when it comes to politics, like that you guys could see totally different. Like, you could be completely right wing, you could be a complete conservative, independent, the Republican, Democrat, and every one of them, kind of like religion, has their own different beliefs, their own different values that they go about. And that could be a real touchy subject right there. Now, that could make or break some relationships. That could be that deal breaker right there.
Well, this is what we're going to do, guys. Since we're going to end this show out tonight, we're gonna bring this back up. We could do it. Y'all want to do it next week? We could finish, do a part 2 next week. That way it's fresh. We can kind of refer to this show as a thing. But we could definitely bring the politics into it too, because that's a definite interesting one too.
That'd be dope.
So that's what we're gonna do. Willie, do you want to be on that call?
Yeah, I'll definitely call in on that one. Yep, I'll definitely call in on that one.
So we're gonna wrap this up tonight. Y'all want to give us our info?
Not everybody at once. J-Ro, you already know. I'm pretty much sample J-Ro 609 everywhere. Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, just Yahoo. Google it, J-Ro 609.
All right.
Y'all know where y'all can catch me at on my blog at kingstruth.com. You can catch me on Snapchat at A King's Truth, Instagram at Clint Black. That's BLAQ. You feel me? Come holler at your boy.
Y'all can catch me outside. How about that? So that's the best one. I had to do it. That's my shit. I do that. The head turn and everything. But anyway, I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. My Facebook, y'all can, I don't know if y'all want to add me. Y'all gotta see who you people are trying to add me. But definitely follow my personal blog, unreservedly.wordpress.com. Yeah, and follow our blog page, GST Radio Show .com. Check that out. GST Radio on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, GST_radio. But you already know what the topic's going to be for next week, so come back and join us. We're going to get real on that show. So join us, and there will be an after show on that one. But good night, guys. Oh, Willie, you still online?
Oh, yeah,
I'm still there. Willie, come back to information. I'm sorry, baby. Hey.
Oh, no problem. Check me at williestyles.info, at williestyles.com. I'm Willie Styles everywhere, at Willie Styles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. You catch me out there. All right. Thanks.
All right, guys. We'll see you. What?
See you on 7D.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Hi, this is Maury Moreland Morrison, here to tell you Geico has more than just great savings. Much more. Geico's been around for more than 75 years, back when they were using Morse code. Sorry, that's just my sense of humor. What's more, with Geico, you get 24/7 access to licensed agents on the app, online, or over the phone, so you can talk to them at night or in the morning. So forevermore, just know that no other auto insurer has more than Geico. More power to you. Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Yo, everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost the sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Yo!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.